Hi, in this video I thought I would talk about a very good friend of mine, the mighty Lugol solution. Here it is. It's a very powerful remedy that actually is over 100 years old and was created by a man called Lugol, as you would imagine. And it's very useful. All it is iodine and iodide, 10% potassium iodide, 5% iodine, and it's very useful. I use it mainly as a remedy for when I feel that I may have a cold beginning to formulate inside of myself. If I ever start to get a bit of a sore throat or a bit of a blocked up nose, I straight away go for the Lugols, and it can stop a cold right in its tracks. It's very useful for that. And as a mineral itself, iodine is very essential throughout the body, and the Lugols can be taken as a supplement, although I wouldn't take it indefinitely. I would, if you are in need of iodine, I would maybe take 1 or 2 drops a day for maybe 3 weeks, and then for the 4th week mix it up with some kelp powder or something like that, and then repeat the rotation. But as a remedy itself, I found it so useful for colds. I would take between 5 to 10 drops 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how severe I feel the cold is coming on, and it can really just stop it straight away. It's a very potent antibacterial, antiviral and antifungal, so it ticks all of those boxes whilst not doing any harm to the body, which is very useful. It targets single-celled organisms, which is very important. So yeah, and of that, some of the uses of iodine in the body is actually inducing cell death. It helps the body to cleanse sick cells, which is very important. There's actually a interesting study which you can find the link to on an article that I wrote, which I will post in the description below, which talks about how all of the cancer patients that were tested in this study were all deficient or severely deficient in iodine. Every single one. Now that's a very important statistic, and I think it's very interesting to think about that, because iodine itself in the Western diet is not that common. It's mainly found in seafood, and some seafoods more. The Japanese have no problem with iodine from what I've researched. So it's it can be used in a variety of different ways throughout the body, also strengthening the mucous membranes, where mucus builds up in the body around the lymph system and all that. And that's what a cold actually is when you have a blockage somewhere in this system and the body has to slow down just to clear it, and then get you back up on your feet to prevent a more serious disease from happening. So you have this short downtime, and then of course this pile up of mucus is a perfect breeding ground for bacteria, and if you are really unlucky you might even get a virus get in there somehow, and that's when you get the flu. So this can stop that all from happening, as by strengthening the mucous membranes. It doesn't allow for blockages to happen so easily. The body can clear out mucus easier, and then if there are any bacteria or viruses that you don't want there, this will also help clear it out, kill all of those, and then you can carry on with your life. Now, I believe it's incredibly undervalued. It should be more well known, as it was over 100 years ago. It was very common to be used throughout Western medicine, and Western medicine practitioners were using it all the time. And then slowly it's been phased out and forgotten, and that may have been intentional, that may have just happened by accident, but who knows. It wouldn't surprise me if there was the pharmaceutical industry cleverly sort of just swept it under the carpet, as it is very cheap, very effective, and the pharmaceutical industry would prefer remedies that are not as effective and way more expensive, because that's where the money is. There's that very famous quote that if you cure somebody, you lose a customer, something like that. So why would they want to cure you when they can just keep getting money from you by perpetually keeping you just above sick? Yeah, and not to say that all doctors and Western medicine practitioners are in this agenda, because for sure there are many, many good people trying to do really good work to help people in this field. It's just the basis of a lot of the science and the where the remedies come from has been hugely corrupted, and I mean, doctors have to go through huge amounts of conditioning, and they have to believe in a certain way of looking at the human body, otherwise they won't get their degrees and won't be able to become a doctor. And I'm sure there are some, hopefully many, that have realized that there is more to the human than what is displayed in the current Western medicine model of just looking at the body as a purely physical entity, and to take these remedies, very aggressive remedies, usually antibiotics, which is just like throwing a bomb off inside of yourself, and hopefully you get the target, whatever it is. So hopefully there are some of them that have realised there are different ways to look at medicine, look at the body, and look at healing people. And I believe iodine is a very useful part of this toolkit, and I would highly recommend everybody has iodine just sitting there in their cupboard. You don't have to use it so often. I mean, this bottle is about 200 mils, and that'll last me maybe 10 years, maybe more, because I don't use it that often. It's just a lifesaver when I do. And unfortunately, the website that I got that from, Strident to Health, is no longer operational. The two women that run it did it for 10 years, but now they've decided to retire, I guess, or focus on other things. And so you can't buy it from there, but you can find Lugol solution other places on the internet. I personally would always go for the original remedy, but you can find some that are sort of half this and you can just take double, but that's up to you. I'd rather just take the remedy as it was originally intended and how it was created, and how it clearly is effective taking this way. And it doesn't taste so nice, I must admit. I don't mind it. Some people really can't stand it. It tastes a little bit like soap, but it's medicine. It's not supposed to taste great. But you can mix it with tea. I just have it with water. But you can put some honey or whatever. Just mix it with something to make it a bit more palatable. But that's totally up to you. Yeah, so as a remedy, just 5 to 10 drops 2 or 3 times a day. As a supplement, 1 or 2 drops a day. And that will do you well. I find it's very good to mix Lugols with sodium ascorbate, especially if I feel the cold's coming on pretty strong, I can remember when I was in New Zealand, I was in a farm and everybody got sick apart from me, and I really was like in this battle, and one of the women there actually ended up being sick for like 3 months with the same damn cold that just kept coming back. It was terrible. But so in that situation, Lugol's was really a lifesaver. I was so grateful to have it there on standby to be able to help me fight off that battle, because it's also, I believe, getting sick is half and half, a physical thing and half like a mental, emotional thing, because if you believe you're going to get sick, then you will get sick. And if everyone's around you is sick and you're the last person standing, yeah, this could be an interesting thing to have to go through, to try and remain that pillar of health amongst all of these sick people. So I would highly recommend you check this out, do some further research if this is the first time you've ever heard of Lugol solution, and maybe it can help you in your life. Maybe it can save you from some time being sick that just didn't need to happen. So that was just a quick, short presentation on the mighty Lugol solution. And until next time, guys, I will see you then. Goodbye.